In the quiet suburban neighborhood where I lived, there was a tale that whispered through the trees and echoed in the empty streets. It was the story of Charlie's son, a boy who vanished into the night without a trace, leaving behind only a shattered family and a community haunted by unanswered questions. 5 years had passed since Charlie first informed us of his son's disappearance. I remember the solemn look in his eyes as he spoke, the weight of grief heavy upon his shoulders. We offered our sympathy and support, but beneath our words lay a silent fear, a fear of the unknown and the darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of our understanding. As the years went by and still no word came of Charlie's son, we resigned ourselves to the harsh reality that he might never return. We watched as Charlie and his wife Kathy retreated into themselves, their once vibrant spirits dimmed by the shadow of loss. But it was not until just last week that I began to suspect that there was more to Charlie's story than met the eye. It was a seemingly innocent encounter, a request for a shovel that set my nerves on edge and sent a chill racing down my spine. I remember the way Charlie's eyes darted nervously as he spoke, the tension in his voice as he asked to borrow a shovel. I offered it without question, eager to help in any way I could. But as he disappeared into his backyard, a sense of unease settled over me like a suffocating fog. It was later that night, under the cover of darkness, that I saw Charlie's true intentions. From the safety of my upstairs window, I watched as he labored in the moonlight, digging a deep hole in the earth with a frantic desperation that sent shivers down my spine. I should have turned away, should have retreated to the safety of my own home, but something compelled me to stay, to bear witness to the horror unfolding before my eyes. And when Charlie finally finished his grim task and disappeared into the night, I knew that I could not rest until I uncovered the truth. With trembling hands and a pounding heart, I crept into Charlie's backyard, my footsteps muffled by the stillness of the night. As I peered into the depths of the freshly dug hole, my blood ran cold at the sight that greeted me. A black garbage bag, its contents hidden from view, buried beneath the cold earth. I knew then that I could not keep silent, could not ignore the darkness that threatened to consume us all. And yet, as I gazed into the abyss that lay before me, I realized that some secrets are better left buried, some truths too terrible to face. And so, I find myself trapped in a web of lies and deceit, torn between the desire for justice and the fear of what lurks in the shadows. For in the heart of every man lies a darkness that defies explanation, a darkness that threatens to consume us all. In the first 15 years of my life, I resided in a modest house with my family. It was a period marked by innocence and the carefree days of childhood. But lurking behind the facade of suburban tranquility lay a darkness that would shatter the illusion of safety forever. My memories of that time are a blur of sunny afternoons spent playing in the yard and lazy evenings spent with family. But amidst the laughter and the warmth of those days, there was always a sense of unease, a feeling that something was not quite right. We were never close with our neighbors, a family of 2 boys and their father who lived next door. Eric and Todd, their names whispered like a curse in the hushed tones of gossip, were a mystery to us, their lives shrouded in secrecy. It was during the final months of our time in that house that the true nature of our neighbors would reveal itself in a series of events that would forever haunt my dreams. One afternoon, as my younger brother and I played basketball in the driveway, Todd emerged from the confines of his home and approached us with an air of calculated confidence. He spoke of rumors of our impending move, his words tinged with a hint of curiosity that sent a shiver down my spine. Before I could fully comprehend what was happening, Todd had extended an invitation for us to join him and his brother in a game of BB guns by the river. Against my better judgment, I agreed, my brother tagging along at the last minute, eager for adventure. As we made our way through the woods, the solemnity of our companions struck me as odd, their demeanor bordering on the edge of obsession. Clad in camo gear and armed with a duffel bag of guns, they led us deeper into the forest, their intentions veiled in secrecy. It wasn't until we reached our destination that the true horror of their intentions became clear. With a flourish, Todd unveiled the contents of the bag, revealing not harmless BB guns, but real firearms, gleaming ominously in the fading light. Shock and fear coursed through my veins as I realized the gravity of the situation. My brother and I exchanged a glance, our silent communication a testament to the bond that bound us together in the face of danger. With trembling hands, I seized the guns from my brother's grasp, my voice barely above a whisper as I informed Todd and Eric of our discomfort. Their reaction was swift and violent, their anger palpable as they hurled insults and curses in our direction. As we made our hasty retreat, I could feel their eyes boring into our backs, their threats echoing in the recesses of my mind like a sinister refrain. But it was not until that fateful night, with the chill of winter seeping through my open window, that the true extent of their malice would reveal itself. In the darkness, I felt a presence behind me. A cold steel pressed against the back of my head as a voice whispered threats of unspeakable violence. In the days that followed, my brother and I lived in constant fear, our every move monitored by the watchful eyes of our tormentors. Rocks thrown at windows, late-night visits filled with taunts and jeers, each encounter serving as a grim reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the safety of our home. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. With the dawn of a new day came the promise of a fresh start, a chance to leave behind the horrors of the past and embrace the unknown. But the scars of that time remain etched upon my soul, a reminder of the fragility of innocence and the darkness that lies dormant in the hearts of men. And though I have long since left that house behind, I know that the memories of those days will haunt me forever, a specter of fear that lingers in the shadows of my mind.